Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. Across the infinite tapestry of the Marvel multiverse, realities shimmered like threads in a grand, endless loom. Dimensions intertwined, galaxies burned in their splendor, and the beings who called themselves gods ruled over their tiny corners of existence, believing themselves supreme. But in the spaces between the spaces, where even eternity's gaze dared not wander, something began to stir. It started as a whisper, then a vibration, then a scream across every molecule of existence. In the heart of the multiverse, the living tribunal, the cosmic judge whose decrees balanced all realities, convulsed. His golden face fractured into infinite expressions of fear. With a single thought, the tribunal summoned the greatest cosmic forces. Eternity, the embodiment of all time. Death, the mistress of life's end. Infinity, the weaver of boundless possibilities. Oblivion, the void beyond knowing. But even these ancient powers knew they were helpless. A being was coming, no, had come, whose very existence threatened to reduce their entire reality into a footnote. The Beyonder, Pre-Retcon, he was beyond it all. Not merely stronger than the cosmic forces, he was the ocean, and they were but droplets caught in the tide of his will. With a mere flecks of thought, Pre-Retcon Beyonder erased a dozen realities, blinking them out like candles in a hurricane. Worlds collapsed inward, time fractured into meaningless echoes. And he, clothed in shimmering white, his eyes burning with infinite curiosity and loneliness, stood above it all, surveying the broken pieces of existence with an almost childlike wonder. There must be more, he mused aloud. If all of this is but a fragment of myself, then what lies beyond? His voice, casual and thoughtful, rippled through the entirety of the Marvel omniverse. Entire civilizations fell to madness hearing his question. Stars aged into dust. Heroes and villains alike forgot their own names, replaced by a single instinct: awe. Meanwhile, high above all realms, there was a place untouched by even the deepest cosmic beings, the above all realm. Here existence thinned into pure thought. Here at the apex of all realities sat the one above all, the silent architect, the final authority, the infinite love and infinite justice beyond all comprehension. For eons, Toei had observed all, intervening only when absolutely necessary. He was not just the creator, he was the dreamer whose dreams were existence itself. And now he stirred. A ripple crossed the pure golden expanse of the above all realm. Toei, in a form too blinding for any mind to comprehend, rose from his stillness. The Beyonder's probing, his manipulation of the primal weave of reality, had drawn a gaze that no entity had ever wanted to attract. Toei's voice, when it finally spoke, was like 1,000 choirs singing in unison, and a single gentle whisper all at once.
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
A child has wandered into my workshop. In the multiverse below, Pre-Retcon Beyonder continued his exploration. He peeled back the layers of reality like an onion, witnessing creation's hidden bones, the primal energies of magic, the secret truths of science, the raw dreams of every soul across all planes. Yet still, it wasn't enough. I have power without limit, Beyonder said, frustration gnawing at him, and yet I feel incomplete. That's when he felt it, a presence. It was not another cosmic being. It was not death. It was something utterly beyond him, something even he could barely perceive, like an ant suddenly becoming aware of the concept of infinity. At first, the Beyonder recoiled. Pride, ancient and immense, flared in his heart. No, he growled, voice shaking the stars. Nothing stands above me. And so, for the first time in countless eons, Pre-Retcon Beyonder did something that he had never thought necessary. He challenged the unknown. With a thought, he constructed an arena, a plane beyond planes, a stage built from crystallized concepts, time, space, mind, soul, reality, power, all fused into a singular, infinite battleground. He raised his hand to the void and declared, "I summon you, presence unknown. If you believe yourself greater than I, come forth, face me." The arena vibrated, entire timelines twisted into Mobius loops. Dreams and nightmares blurred into one another. Heroes like Thor, Hulk, Silver Surfer, and even Galactus clutched their heads in agony, sensing the cosmic disturbance like static in their souls. And then, from the white silence came a footstep. It was soft, but in that one step, entire realities broke and healed, merely from the echo. The one above all appeared, not as a warrior, not as a judge, not as a god clad in golden armor, but as a simple figure, radiant, cloaked in light, face both male and female, both young and ancient, both human and something else entirely. His presence filled the arena without even trying. The Beyonder for the first time felt small. "You called?" The one above all said, voice filled with patience and sorrow. Pre-Retcon Beyonder stood tall, channeling all his immeasurable might. "I am the Beyonder," he proclaimed. "I am everything beyond this existence. I command reality itself, and you will yield to me." The one above all simply looked at him, eyes infinite and kind. "You command fragments of a dream," Toei said. "I am the dreamer." A pulse of energy, gentle but irresistible, rolled from Toa. Not an attack, not a strike, just a simple truth made manifest. Beyonder staggered backward, feeling pieces of himself, the countless pieces of the multiverse he had absorbed, tremble under the weight of something greater than omnipotence, primordial authorship. "No!" he roared, igniting into a living star of rage and fear. I am beyond all." Tobias only watched, compassion in his endless eyes. The arena trembled. The multiverse itself began to peel like bark from a burning tree. Beyonder gathered his will, enough to collapse all existence, and hurled it at Toei in a beam of pure, burning finality. The blast crossed all frequencies of reality, striking with the force to unmake existence itself. But when the dust cleared, the one above all still stood, untouched, unimpressed. He spoke once more. "You are mighty, child, but you are still within the song. I am the singer." And with that, Toei raised his hand, and reality itself began to blink, as if even the concept of being were being rewritten at the source. Pre-Retcon Beyonder bared his teeth. He would not fall. He could not fall. The battle was about to begin in truth. The arena, stitched from the raw bones of existence, buckled under the weight of what was about to unfold. The Beyonder floated in midair, crackling with white-hot power that melted the dimensions around him like wax. Every molecule, every law, every rule bent in terrified submission to his will. He clenched his fists, his eyes burning with an intensity that could split realities like paper. Across from him, the one above all stood serene, a figure of endless light, his presence rippling through the infinite layers of being. He did not posture, he did not threaten, he merely was. But to Pre-Retcon Beyonder, whose pride refused to accept any superior, that was an offense he would not tolerate. "If I must destroy the very concept of limits to prove myself," Beyonder whispered, "then so be it." Without warning, he struck. The blow was beyond speed, beyond sound. It was a pure thought, shaped into a lance of annihilation. Where it passed, entire universes ceased, not exploded or collapsed, but simply erased, memories of them burning into static in the minds of every being across the multiverse. The lance of destruction slammed into the one above all with force that made eternity and infinity themselves convulse. For a heartbeat, it seemed even Toe shimmered, as if the very act of destruction had touched him. The arena shuddered, multiversal tectonics splitting, timelines unraveled, concepts like before and after crumbled into meaningless dust. But as the light faded, the one above all remained, still standing, still calm, his form radiant, untouched. He spoke, not with words, but with essence itself. I made the laws you now break. I can make them anew. Pre-Retcon Beyonder roared, unleashing everything. He expanded, his body swelling until he filled the entire arena, then the multiverse itself, becoming a cosmic titan whose limbs stretched across galaxies, whose voice became the winds of time. He slammed into TOA with fists made of collapsed realities. He hurled suns like pebbles. He weaponized the deaths of countless possibilities and rained them down like arrows of oblivion. And still Toei stood. Now enraged, the Beyonder ripped apart the very idea of opposition. He summoned avatars of destruction, each crafted from aspects of chaos, each designed to devour even gods. Titans woven from black holes, serpents spun from anti-time, beasts forged in the void before creation. They howled and rushed at Toei in an endless tide. The one above all lifted a single finger. A pulse of truth radiated outward, and the monstrous creations simply ceased to exist, as though they were mistakes in a perfect painting being corrected with a single brushstroke. Beyonder screamed, a sound that detonated quasars. With a final apocalyptic effort, he reached beyond. He touched the deepest foundation of existence, the hidden levers and gears that powered all of Marvel's realities. And he seized them. "If I cannot defeat you within the dream," he howled, "then I will destroy the dream itself." He began to unmake the source code, the quantum logic, the narrative structures, the fundamental axioms of Marvel's very being. The multiverse convulsed. Marvel's greatest minds, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, the Living Tribunal, all fell to their knees, sensing the very end. Even beyond, in realms forgotten by mortal and cosmic minds alike, titanic beings quivered. And still, the one above all stepped forward. Not in anger, not in hatred, in understanding. "You seek to destroy what you do not yet understand, child," Toei said gently. "But you are a note in a song whose end you cannot yet sing." Toei touched the unraveling source code, and it rewrote itself. New patterns formed, even more beautiful and intricate than before. The laws of physics and magic rebuilt in a heartbeat. The tapestry of existence, resewn with threads even the Beyonder could not perceive. The Beyonder stared in horror. "Impossible," he breathed. "No being, no force should..." He unleashed his final attack, the Shattering of Absolutes, an ultimate blow designed to not just destroy, but to erase every concept, every truth, every possibility. A return to pre-creation void. The arena, already stretched beyond meaning, exploded into raw nothingness. For a moment, there was silence. The Marvel multiverse flickered. Had even the one above all fallen? And then, light. Not blinding, not scorching, warm, endless, welcoming. The one above all stood amidst the nothingness, his form glowing ever brighter. He reached out, not to strike, but to embrace. He enveloped the raging Beyonder in light, not as an enemy, but as a parent would a furious, wounded child. The Beyonder struggled, raged, screamed, and then he wept. All his infinite power, all his limitless might, all his efforts to define himself, shattered by a simple, irrefutable truth. He had never been alone. He had never been beyond. He was, and always had been, a part of the one above all's infinite love and vision. The one above all spoke one final time. "You are mighty beyond measure, Beyonder, but you are still a part of my dream, as are all things." And with a gentle thought, Toa rewove the Beyonder's form, not erasing him, but healing him, restoring his place in the grand symphony. The battle was over. The multiverse sighed in relief. Existence stabilized. Hope, once trembling, burned bright again. And in the above all realm, the one above all returned to his seat. The dreamer, the singer, the creator, watching over it all with infinite patience and infinite mercy.